Pre-tribulation rapture. The church has not replaced Israel. Church is not replaced.
How dreadful to be caught up in a game and have no idea what is going on. These are the words of Caroline Stepper. Not knowing what to do can be a terrifying feeling. This is especially true while playing chess. Although it's a fun game and anyone can play it, it is quite complicated. Without knowing what to do, it is impossible to play the game and to be successful. Knowing what each piece is and does can help you a lot. I've played chess since I was 6 years old, and I know exactly how the game works. You too can learn how each piece is used. We're going to take a look at the six different pieces and how each one performs. Now, let's take a look at each of them. And here I have a chessboard and all my chess pieces. And we're going to start by talking about the pawn. The pawn is probably the strangest game piece. It can, there starts out with eight different pawn pieces for each player, and at the beginning they surround all the other pieces. Now the pawn can move in 3 different ways. It can move forward 1 space, or it can move forward 2 spaces. It can only move forward 2 spaces if it hasn't already moved yet. Also, if there is an enemy piece to the side of it, the pawn can move diagonally to capture that piece. One special thing about the pawn is that when it gets to the end of the opponent's board or side, you can replace it with any other piece that has been captured. Most people choose the queen since it's the most valuable piece. All right, and we're moving on to the rook, which is another piece. The rook is the second most powerful piece in the game of chess. It can move horizontally or vertically. It can't move diagonally at all. So, one thing about the rook is that it can castle. Now, castling we'll talk about a little bit later. Now, the next piece we're going to talk about is the knight. The knight, it's located, it features a horse's head, so a lot of people tend to call it the horse. Now, the knight is a tricky piece. It's kind of weird. It can move 2 squares one way and then 1 square away the other way. The best way to picture this is to think of the letter L. It moves in the formation of an L. Now, the next piece we're going to talk about is the bishop. The bishop is probably the simplest piece. It can move diagonally in however far it wants to. There's nothing really very special about the bishop. And next we move on to the queen. The queen is the most powerful piece. It can move in all directions, horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, in as many directions as it wants. And then, lastly, we move on to the king. The king is the most valuable piece. Once the king is captured, it is game over. And this is called checkmate. The king can move in any direction, but it can only move 1 square away, and it cannot move into a place where it will be attacked. Well, so moving on, chess is a complex game with many strategies and outcomes. Each piece is different and has a different function, and each role can be exciting and fun. So to review here, the pawn is the weakest and strangest piece. The rook is the second most valuable. The bishop is the simplest. The knight is the trickiest. The queen is the most powerful, and the king is the most valuable. So hopefully now you know the basics of each chess piece. And next time you find yourself caught up in a game of chess, you hopefully will not have no idea of what you're doing.